request some ground power here at Toronto. Bring the jetway over. Yep, we're connected. Our lights up. Start the APU running, so we'll get pump 1 on, auxiliary power unit, fry. So our departure today is from Toronto, and our departure time is 21:30 UTC, so about 25 minutes. To load everyone on board and get everything set. Departure. What we'll do is set our fuel 2/3 full and set payload at empty. Are we going to do a fuel? GSX up. Sure. It is getting updated, so this may not work. Alright, switch on auto respond frequencies. We are going to request refuel. First we'll get our flight plan in, which shows Toronto to Edmonton, GSX. We have got
refueling truck is on its way.
Quite a lot of ice.
Please don't load aircraft until the fuel truck arrives and ask to do it.
This afternoon. So we're going to do a de-icing as well. Doors. Open up the front left.
Fuel truck is in position.
Cabin 2.
Please don't load aircraft until the fuel truck arrives and ask to do it.
External view. So we've got the fuel truck has arrived. External view. The one issue that I have found, he's entering the fuel quantum. Actually, 13882 I've got on my flight plan, but they have put in a level 14,000. Whether it actually does it or not, I don't know. Sometimes it bugs out. While that's doing that, so we may need to reset. Yeah, it has not done it. That's fine. GSX. 13310. Okay, that's the ADIS programmed in. So we'll listen to that in a moment. First, what we'll do is we'll start getting some passengers on board, hopefully. Or maybe we'll do the de-icing first. GSX. Oh, that's right, because I restarted. Let's do additional services. Request de-ice.
The icing vehicles are coming now.
Meanwhile, we will get our additional information into the flight management computer as such. Now, the fuel is set, so that's fine. Route, we'll bring that in as a sim brief. Now we've set fuel. Fuel's already been done. Payload will do that via GSX, hopefully. So we'll load in the flight plan. External view. As you can see, the
confirm aircraft is ready for treatment.
External view. They're suggesting fluid type 1, and they're suggesting 75%.
We begin treatment now and observe fluid type 1, concentration at 75%. We'll call you back when ready.
There we go. So they are now de-icing. They will go along each wing and de-ice accordingly. Which is very neat. Meanwhile, let's bring up Batis. Get some of the information. Oh, look at all the ice on my windshield here.
3057 VFR conditions, landing runways 2 tree, 24 left, 24 right, departing runways 2 tree, 24 right, transition level 180, 5G notice in effect. Advise on initial contact, you have information Kilo. Toronto Pearson Airport information Kilo 2102 Zulu, wind 270 at 12 gusts 18, visibility 15, few clouds at 3000, ceiling 4200 broken, 25000 broken, temperature -05, dew point -1 tree, altimeter tree 057, VFR conditions, landing runways 2 tree, 24 left, 24 right, departing runways 2 tree.
Alright, so we've got the altimeter 3057, so we've got to change that. That's the pressure. Do that now before I forget. So 3057, so I'll put that in there. Meanwhile, we will switch across the power from the APU. APU bleed on, packs on, and power there. External view. External view. Alright, the ice trucks are finished. External view. Which means our route now. And finish this up first. Yeah, and let's activate that. Should be good. GSX. Okay, let's get boarding underway.
Boarding requested.
Look at this ice. It is cold, -5. So we've got the various baggage handlers, stairs coming in. Alright, meanwhile, we will continue the performance initialization steps once. So, no.
Do you want to board crew?
We're going to say we're not going to board the crew, we're just going to see if they're already on board. Meanwhile, we'll get our charts up. Departure airport, CYYZ. So the airport charts are here. 10-9. Here we are, there's our position. probably going to be departing on runway 23, but we'll get that information shortly. The instrument departure, I think, is going to be AVSEP7. So I'm just going to pin that one. Okay, it looks like we've got all of our weights programmed in. So now we'll go through the performance initialization. We just request the information here. We'll go back to our pinned charts. Airport info. Bring this down a little bit. Oh. For some reason, it's put our aircraft all the way over there, which makes no sense. Let's just reload that one in. Oh yeah, that's better. Are we loading in passengers? We may very well not be. Cabin 2. Cabin 2. And we've got the crew there.
Passengers boarding starting.
Oh, now passengers are finally boarding. That's interesting. Okay, now we'll do, so that's in. We'll go to our N1 limits. First of all, what we'll do is we'll go to clearance, and we will request IFR clearance to, where are we going, Edmonton? Let's just double check our arrival, CYEG, airport.
Boarding pass, please.
Edmonton, yeah, that's right. In sure.
This way, please.
Good afternoon, Toronto deliveries. This is WestJet 418 Romeo, requesting IFR clearance to Edmonton. I didn't give information kilo. I forgot
This
that.
way.
They'll probably pick me up on that.
WestJet 418, Romeo Toronto delivery. Expect runway 23, AVSEP7 departure, with the music transition. Initial climb to 7,000 feet. Squawk 4235.
Okay. Expect runway 23, AVSEP7 with the music transition. Initial climb to 7,000, squawk 4235.
This way.
WestJet 418, Romeo. Read back. Correct. Contact ground 121. Decimal niner when ready for push or start.
Over to ground 1219, WestJet 418 Romeo. Okay, so we've got that, which means we are definitely in runway 23. So we go to performance.
Hello?
Cabin 2. Here we are, we've got some people coming on board. Here we go. There they are. Oh, twins.
This way.
Reset view.
Good afternoon.
35.8, 35.7. Looks like we've got different pressure there, but that's fine. It's saying take off with temperature 50, so we put 50 in here. Like so. Now we'll go to departures. Now, runway 23 with the AVSEP7 with the music transition. Okay, we'll execute that. Now let's have a look at.
Hello.
Let's have a look at this.
Hello.
So we'll take off, go here, and apparently we're getting vectors. Step. Vectors to Tillam. Alright, well. Okay, we'll see how that goes.
This way, please.
Take off. So, the other things we need to know, flaps 5. It's pretty usual. Our center of gravity is 25.37, so that should auto-populate in here. 25.4, close enough. V1, V2, and V1, VR, and V2 is 140 143, 145, and 149 here. Yep, so that matches our calculations there, so we can just input those straight away, and trim is 4.8.
Good afternoon.
So,
WestJet 2660 at gate 27, request pushback.
that's almost close.
WestJet 2660, Toronto ground, pushback and engine start approved. Face south.
Projected takeoff, we'll set that now.
Pushback and engine start approved. Face south, WestJet 2660.
Put seatbelts on.
All aircraft be advised information Lima now current. Altimeter tree 058.
That makes sense.
This way, please.
358, slight adjustment there.
Sky Travel 4506, gate 152, request pushback.
Okay.
Sky Travel 4506, Toronto ground, pushback and engine start approved. Face west.
149 was our V6.
Pushback approved, face west, Sky Travel 4506.
149. There we go.
Hello.
Runway takeoff is 23, so let's just check the heading for that
Welcome on
one.
board.
23 is actually, the actual heading is 237, so we'll
Hello.
set that here. Oh, and then we've nearly finished boarding. Cabin 2. There we go, last few people. Oop, melded.
Hello.
Reset view. Reset view. Switching our flight directors. And, what was it, climb 7,000, wasn't it? So we will
WestJet 2660, taxi for departure.
traffic. Climb 7,000.
WestJet 2660, runway 2 tree taxi via Alpha Tango, Alpha Hotel.
LNAV, VNAV now.
Runway 23 taxi via Alpha Tango,
Alright.
Alpha Hotel, WestJet 2660.
We are fully boarded. Now our cruising altitude I think is going to be 340, so I'll put that over here. 340. Our destination airport altitude is 2373, so we'll change that one as well.
Sky Travel 4506, ready to taxi to the active.
We'll go 2350.
Sky Travel 4506, runway 2 tree taxi via Echo Yankee, Echo Hotel.
Oh, we
Hold
need
short,
our,
runway 15
window
left.
wipers on. That will help. Switch those on.
Runway 23 taxi via Echo Yankee, Echo
Oh,
Hotel.
hopefully-
Hold short, runway 15 left, Sky Travel 4506.
Deal with our icing windows. Very good. So, that. Now we just go through. I've got my checklists on the side. Alarms, check oxygen. V5. V5. Is that this one? Yep, very good. Test our alarms. Make sure the fire goes. We've got everything working. Yep. Yep. Good. V6. V6. The other thing I want to test is stall warning. Yeah. Okay, I think that's probably going to do. We'll switch on your damper. Fuel's on. Check crossfeed. Valves. Yep, looks good. So on, so on, so on. Let's go through. Looks good, looks good, looks good. Reset view. Okay, so that's that all checked. Use running. Squawk. Put that in. Altimeter's set. Initial altitude set, heading takeoff runway set, elevator trim set, max speed V2 set, your damper set, fuel pumps all on crossfeed valve checked, window heat on. Hopefully that has an effect in a minute. Hydraulic pumps all on, flight altitude set, landing altitude set. Flight directors on, LNAV, VNAV, auto brake, RTO, check. Com radio, ground connections. We're ready to remove all shut doors.
WestJet 2660. Contact Toronto Tower 118.35.
Close all doors.
Contact Tower 118.35, WestJet 2660.
Cabin 2. Reset view. Good, they're all shut. Ground connection.
Sky Travel 4506. Cross runway 15 left at hotel. Continue taxi via Echo Hotel.
Cross runway 15 left at hotel. Continue taxi via Echo Hotel Sky Travel 4506.
GSX. Excellent. Good. Alright, so that's all done. Fantastic. Now we just need to make sure that we have got our... We have switched across to the APU. We have APU power running. Just check that. Yep, so we can disconnect ground power. Alright. And we shall remove trucks. We'll bring up our airport.
Sky Travel 4506. Contact Toronto Tower 118.35.
Okay, now we're ready to request patrol.
Over to Tower 118.35, Sky Travel 4506. Have a good day.
Anti-collision lights on. No display. There we go. WestJet 418 Romeo requesting pushback and startup. Didn't know which gate I was at. Should have.
WestJet 418. Romeo Toronto ground. Pushback approved. Face south.
Pushback approved, face south. WestJet 418 Romeo. Okay, so I want to face south, which means we'll probably want the tail more to the right. Yeah. GSX.
You need to set parking brakes to request ground services.
Oh, there we go. And set. GSX. Pushback. No, I've already done that.
Due to icing conditions, please stand by for engine start until push completed and brakes set.
Okay, there's people. It is very icy.
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback.
Alright. Here they come. Here comes the guy with the
Air Canada 119 at gate 55. Request pushback and engine start.
pin.
Air Canada 119. Toronto ground pushback approved.
Check completed.
Face southwest.
Has been inserted.
Pushback approved. Face southwest. Air Canada 119.
Should bring the tug up shortly. Is it that one? Here he comes. Alright, so he'll hook in. Now, meanwhile, I'm going to have a look and see where they're probably going to send us
Locking gear.
by taxi. They'll probably send us along Alpha or Bravo, probably Alpha, all the way through down here to the
WestJet 521 at gate 151. Request pushback.
and maybe Hotel and Quebec.
WestJet 521. Toronto ground. Pushback and engine start approved. Face northwest.
Packs off now.
Pushback approved. Face northwest. WestJet 521.
I'm guessing. Tail right, wasn't it? There we go.
Release parking brakes. Commencing push. Due to icing conditions, please stand by for engine start until push completed and brakes set.
Copy that. Alright, so we've got there, we have people. External view. Walkers. So I'm expecting us to be given Alpha Hotel Quebec as our taxi.
Air Canada 119, taxi for departure. Air Canada 119, runway 23 taxi via Alpha Tango, Alpha Hotel.
Really,
Runway 23 taxi via Alpha Tango, Alpha Hotel, Air Canada 119.
we haven't really been swung tail right yet, have we? Which is odd. But, oh well. Not really facing south. They told us to face south, but gosh, we've got Air Canada there. What are they doing? Okay. Hopefully we don't crash into them. External view. Kind of in the way here.
Blue Streak 5076, gate 17. Request pushback.
Set parking brakes.
There we go. Okay, now we can start.
Blue
up the
Streak
engines.
5076, Toronto ground, pushback and engine start approved. Face northwest.
Pushback and engine start approved. Face northwest. Blue Streak 5076.
WestJet 521, request taxi to the active.
WestJet 521, runway 2, tree taxi via Echo Yankee,
Okay,
Echo
can I
Hotel. Hold short, runway 15 left.
Runway 2 tree taxi via Echo Yankee Echo Hotel. Hold short, runway 15 left, WestJet 521.
Air Canada 596, gate 72, taxi at pilot's discretion.
Gate 72, taxi at my discretion. Air Canada 596.
Okay, that's firing up nicely.
Air Canada 596, cross runway 2 tree at Alpha Delta. Continue taxi via, hold short, runway 2 tree.
Okay, we got the second engine running.
Cross runway 23 at Alpha Delta. Continue taxi via, hold short runway 23, Air Canada 596.
Yep. External view.
Blue Streak 5076, request taxi.
Cabin 6. Let's go.
Blue Streak 5076, runway 2 tree taxi via Alpha Tango, Alpha Hotel.
Runway 23 taxi via Alpha Tango Alpha Hotel, Blue Streak 5076.
Let's wait till we've got that clicks over. There we go. GSX.
Cockpit to ground. We have a good engine start. You can disconnect.
Unlocking gear.
Cabin 6. Flaps out for takeoff. Reset. There we are, they're down. We're going to need center fuel pumps. Switch across.
WestJet 521, cross runway 15 left at Hotel. Continue taxi via Echo Hotel.
Okay, con back on.
Cross runway 15 left at Hotel. Continue taxi via Echo Hotel, WestJet 521.
Repeat on.
Left is clear. Right is clear.
Tugs disconnected.
Air Canada 119, contact Toronto. Tower 118, decimal tree 5, bye-bye.
Okay, so it's running. Switch to
Contact
fuel.
Tower 118, decimal 35, Air Canada 119.
Put the logo on, why not? Okay, so it looks like good. He's got pin. We're all clear. He'll wave us goodbye. Bye. WestJet 418 Romeo, ready to taxi to the active.
WestJet 418, Romeo, runway 2, tree taxi via Alpha Tango, Alpha Hotel.
Runway 23, taxi via Alpha Tango Alpha Hotel, WestJet 418 Romeo. Okay, slightly different. So where's Tango?
WestJet 521, contact Toronto Tower 118.35.
Contact Tower 118.35, WestJet 521.
Taxi lights on.
Blue Streak 5076, contact Toronto Tower 118.35.
Contact Tower 118.35, Blue Streak 5076. Have a good day.
Alpha Tango. Is it Alpha Tango? Yeah, taxi by Alpha Tango Alpha. Ah, very good. Yeah, no, that makes sense. So we go along here. And then we cut across to Alpha via Alpha Tango.
WestJet 418, Romeo. Hold position for traffic. I'll call you back.
Holding position for traffic, WestJet 418 Romeo. Okay. We have to wait here for a minute. Someone. Okay, alright, well, we'll sit here for a bit. Meanwhile, it looks like the window heaters are doing a good job. We're clearing up windows.
China Southern 312 Heavy, ramp 143, request pushback.
China Southern 312, Heavy Toronto ground, pushback and engine start approved. Face northeast.
Pushback and engine start approved. Face northeast. China Southern 312 Heavy.
Holding position for traffic. What traffic? Inch up a little bit further. Get on the line at least here. There is zero traffic here, which is odd. It's told me to hold for someone, but I don't know who that is.
China Southern 312 Heavy, request taxi.
Is that them over there? Is that China Southern?
Air Canada 7248 Heavy, ramp 1 Tree Niner, taxi at pilot's discretion. Ramp 139er, taxi at my discretion. Air Canada 7248 Heavy.
Seems a bit weird that there's no one here.
China Southern 312, Heavy runway 2. Tree taxi via Echo Bravo, Echo Hotel. Hold short runway 15 left.
Runway 2, tree taxi via Echo Bravo, Echo Hotel. Hold short runway 15 left. China Southern 312 Heavy.
I think that's them over there. That's China Southern, who's now taxiing. see any traffic, so I am just going to go. I don't know who I'm holding for. There's a BA aircraft there, it's just stationary. Canada over there, stationary. I've got a 4-hour flight ahead of me, so I'm around on this one. There's nothing. There's no one around. So I'm going to assume the traffic is wrong. It's HA, so I'm going to go past them. Windows are all nice and clear now, which is good. Happening. It could have been this could be the Delta, but they are not moving either. It looks to me.
WestJet 418, Romeo, continue taxi.
Thank you. Wilco, continue taxi, WestJet 418 Romeo.
China Southern 312, heavy cross runway 15 left at hotel. Continue taxi via Echo Hotel.
Cross runway 15 left at hotel. Continue taxi via Echo Hotel, China Southern 312 heavy.
Might have been the China Southern, who knows? Okay.
American 1111, gate 7, taxi at pilot's discretion.
Gate 7, taxi at my discretion. American 1111.
Nothing left.
Air Canada 596, cross runway 23 at Foxtrot. Continue taxi via Tango. Hold short runway 15 left.
Cross runway 23 at Foxtrot. Continue taxi via Tango. Hold short runway 15 left. Air Canada 596.
Can we go on?
Air Canada 596, cross runway 15 left at Tango. Continue taxi via Tango. Alpha Lima.
Cross runway 15 left at Tango. Continue taxi via Tango, Alpha Lima, Air Canada 596.
Okay.
China Southern 312 heavy. Contact Toronto Tower 118.35. Bye-bye.
Over to Tower 118.35, China Southern 312 heavy.
Air Canada 7248, heavy cross runway 2, tree at Alpha Delta. Continue taxi via. Hold short runway 2 tree. Cross runway 23 at Alpha Delta. Continue taxi via. Hold short runway 23. Air Canada 7248 heavy.
So yeah, this is the basic airport for Toronto, not having a third party, which is why it's quite plain. Okay, we should be coming up to the end here. At the T we turn right. Let's see here. So we're going to be right picking up behind China Southern by the looks of it. Is that a 777? Could be.
WestJet 418, Romeo, contact Toronto Tower 118.35.
Over to tower 118, tree 5, WestJet 418 Romeo. Thank you, bye-bye.
Negative. Tower on 118.35.
11835. Sometimes they don't quite come back and stop here. Parking brake on.
Toronto Tower, West, Jet 706, ILS runway 23. WestJet 706, Toronto Tower, continue. Roger, WestJet 706.
Tower, WestJet 418 Romeo, ready for departure, runway 23.
WestJet 418 Romeo number 2 for departure, hold short of 2 tree.
Copy number 2 for departure, hold short runway 23, WestJet 418 Romeo. So now the plane, just land, there we go. So they're gonna...
China Southern 312, heavy runway 2 tree, line up and wait.
Line up and wait. Runway 23, China Southern 312 heavy.
Jazz 238, exit left at Hotel 4. Exit left at Hotel 4, Jazz 238.
Alright, China Southern's on their way. Captain Six.
China Southern 312 heavy, Toronto Tower, wind 260 at 11, runway 2 tree, cleared for takeoff, traffic 5 mile final, no delay.
Runway 23, cleared for takeoff, no delay. China Southern 312 heavy.
Which means we're going to be next. Let's get everything going here. TCAS, strobing, steady, clock on, auto thrust on. China's gone. Next.
WestJet 706, wind 260 at 11, runway 2 tree, cleared to land. Runway 23 cleared to land, WestJet 706. China, Southern 312, heavy, contact Toronto departure, 128.8.
Contact Toronto departure 128.8, China Southern 312 heavy.
Final checks. Looks like we might be waiting for them to land. Yeah, here we go. Guns. Jackie. That's a WestJet, not a WestJet. It's gonna be-
WestJet 418, Romeo runway 2 tree, line up and wait.
Line up and wait. Runway 23, WestJet 418 Romeo. Yep.
WestJet 706, exit left at Hotel 4. Exit left at Hotel 4, WestJet 706.
Bring up the SID now, just so that we can see, so we can track our departure. Make sure everyone's ready. I should have had the anti-ice on. A bit late now. Looks like he's still exiting runway. Yep, looks like he's off. Yeah.
WestJet 418, Romeo Toronto Tower, wind 260 at 11, runway 23, cleared for takeoff.
Cleared for takeoff, runway 23. WestJet 418 Romeo. Okay, let's go. Holy shit, there's a plane there. Positive rate. That should not have happened.
WestJet 418, Romeo, contact Toronto, departure 128.8.
Contact departure 1288, WestJet 418 Romeo. For departures, this is WestJet 418 Romeo, passing 2,600.
WestJet 418. Romeo Toronto departure. Identified. Climb to 17,000 feet.
Climb to 17,000 feet. WestJet 418 Romeo. just going straight to Tillam. I don't think I'm going to get vectors. So I'll just go straight there. Alright. Seatbelts off. Up. And heading towards Tillam. Tillam, and then after that, Avset, then we get the hell out of Dodge, through Opnik. No, it's the museums. It's museums. Ah, museum, there it is, it's the museum transition. Yep. That's fine. Current heading is 328, so we should just that. So it's consistent. Then we'll be going to 343. Yep. Go through our departure checklist. After positive rate of climb, tick, auto brake off, tick, engine start switches off, gear lever up, flaps up, autopilot's on.
Toronto departure, Jazz 359. Good day, 1,200 feet.
Lights, cover lights, climbing to the...
Jazz 359, Toronto departure. Good day identified. Climb to 10,000 feet.
Here.
Climb to 10,000 feet, Jazz 359.
So then, yeah, we can park around that time, close enough anyway. Goodbye, Toronto. Everything looks good. Temperatures.
WestJet 418, Romeo. Contact Toronto Center 124.925.
Contact Toronto 124.925. WestJet 418 Romeo. Thank you, bye.
You're welcome.
Toronto, this is WestJet 418 Romeo, passing 15,000 or 17,000.
WestJet 418 Romeo, Toronto Center, identified. Climb to flight level 340.
Climb to flight level 340, WestJet 418 Romeo. So then we go up to 34, which is our cruising altitude. Put that in. One thing I haven't done as of yet, let me just fix this 317 to 317. I haven't inputted our wind data, so we do wind requests. Gets the current wind information, and we input that into our computer, which will recalculate our...
WestJet 418 Romeo, contact Toronto Center 124.025.
Contact Toronto 124.025, WestJet 418 Romeo. Load in our winds. Good day, Toronto. This is WestJet 418 Romeo, passing flight level 182 for 340. Okay, we'll pass the transition level, so we'll switch across to standard.
WestJet 418, Romeo, Toronto Center, identified.
Okay, we've got our wind data now, so that will recalculate our thing. Now let's have a look and see if there's any weather out there. So we switch the weather radar on. Okay. Looks like a huge bank of clouds up there though. We should fly probably above that. So, Nugop, is that? Yep, Nugop, then Pepma, then Muset. And then we'll be on our way. So while we're climbing, and before I forget, CYEG is our arrival, so we'll put CYEG. That goes in, and then we'll just put some range rings around that. 25 miles, 10 miles, and 5 miles. They're just range rings around the destination airport so that we can kind of track our approach on the way. 317, that's good. Let's just check our cruise altitudes. This says 360, so we need to adjust that. Our cruise altitude is actually 340. So put that in. It'll think we're still climbing once we hit 340 when we're not going to be. So 340, 340, 340. 3 points you need to check. And one is your setting here. The other one is the cruise calculation, cruise level in the computer, and the other one is for the with respect to the pressure. So that's good, that's done. The other thing that we can look at this point is the progress. So we're going from Nugop to Pepma. Heading is 323, so just adjust that slightly. Then Muset, CYEG, our destination, is 1,407 nautical miles away. We're anticipated to arrive there at 0145 Zulu. We're in 2201 Zulu, so that's 10, 11, 12, 1. It's 3 hours and 45 minutes from now. We should arrive. We'll arrive there with 3.3 tons of fuel remaining. We've got 12.4 currently, 12.5. Distance and time to top of climb is, we should get there at 2211.
WestJet 418 Romeo. Contact Toronto Center 132. Decimal 575. Have a good day.
Contact Toronto 132 575. WestJet 418 Romeo. Thank you, bye. Good day, Toronto. This is WestJet 418 Romeo, passing 243 for flight level 340.
WestJet 418, Romeo Toronto Center, radar contact.
Okay, fantastic. So then we have the top of climb, predicted to reach there at 2212 Zulu, 2203 presently. So what's that? 12 past, so about 9 minutes, and it's 58 nautical miles away. Wind is 273 degrees, so coming pretty much directly from the west at 91 knots. What else have we got? Headwind, 73 knot headwind. True airspeed, 478 knots. The static air temperature is 38 degrees minus Celsius. Which is really there to look at. So as I thought, yeah, we're going to climb above these clouds. Presently, oh yeah, so now we're on our way. We've left Muset, we're heading towards Pepma. So we don't need this chart anymore, and we also don't need the Toronto chart. do arrive on 112, we're going to have to sort of come around and land this one here. It's 10,200 feet in length. Elevation 2323. So that's that. Now we can have a look on the map. See where we are. So we are about to. So we're on world. We don't have the IFR. So we can go IFR high, and that shows different. Shows the more of the sort of navigational information. And if we go worlds, click on that. There we go. It shows a bit more like the terrain and what have you. So we have, this is us here. We are about to fly over, which of the lakes is this one? I don't know what Great Lakes. Is that Lake Michigan? Yeah, I think that's Lake Michigan. Yeah, so I think, yep, so we hit there, we fly over Lake Michigan. I think this is Lake Superior. Yep, Lake Superior. So we go to Lake Michigan, Lake Superior, and we fly all the way across here, Saskatchewan, and then we eventually end up over here in Edmonton, crossing various sort of ATC sectors as we go. So I've left Toronto. We are still over land, and there's Lake Michigan there. Just ahead of us. Yep, we are contrailing now. There we are. So we should have the sun going down over in the west, southwest. Some sunlight, but should get quite a nice sunset actually. Flight level 300. 322 heading. 322. Now I think the reason why, even though like we're on autopilot, but I'm manually adjusting the heading bug to reflect what our actual heading is. So I can move this around all over the place, it won't make any difference because we're on autopilot. But I think they synchronize this with the autopilot because I guess if anything happens to the autopilot and it defaults to the heading select bug, if this is the same as the autopilot, then you would just keep flying steady and straight. Whereas if, for example, I wasn't paying attention and our actual heading was, 322, and something happened that automatically defaulted to heading select, then the plane would start wildly deviating to course correct to 240. So yeah, so by keeping this on 322, presumably this is why they do it, and then if anything happens and it goes across to heading select mode instead of LNAV mode, the plane will just keep flying. There's no any course adjustments or corrections, which is what you want. So yeah, everything's good. That's fine. That's fine. Checking seatbelts are off. You can wander around the cabin. That's good. I mean, we could now during the climb. We've got 3 hours or so in front of us, so it's not like there's any rush on anything. But our airport charts. We could have a look at, for example, the arrival charts, and if we're coming in on runway 12, yourself up and everything. The minimum here is 2544, so the minimum, that's the altitude, as I understand it, at which point you need to make a decision as to whether you continue or not. So if you're on an ILS, you can come in to 2544 altitude, and at that point the computer will shout out minimums. You've got to set that manually. So so that comes up now. Hold down the shift and it should bring it up a little quicker. 25. So that's the altitude that you set manually, at which point the plane will yell at you minimums on the approach. And that's pretty much the point where you have to make a decision as to whether you continue or abort. Okay, that sound is 1,000 feet from our program altitude. 2,000. 2,544 we need from 2,511. Even if we change runways, the minimum is going to be, if it's different, it can only be slightly different. So we may as well put that in now. 2544. 2544. Coming up to cruise altitude. As you can see here, VNAV path. We are over Lake Michigan. We'll program in runway 12, or pin it anyway. We won't program it, we'll just pin the map. We're not programming anything here just yet. Well, we could do, I guess. IG SOX 3, I think, is the arrival.
Toronto Center, Air Canada 743. Crossing flight level 227 for flight level 360 direct cased.
Now, will it be the BMIG or the OPSUC transition? No, we don't.
Air Canada 743, Toronto Center, identified.
We don't really need to know this. Big SOX 3. Arrival for runway 12. This one. So this is the chart for that. So if we're coming in, Big SOX. So we're coming in from runway 23, which is this one here. So we're going to want we won't want the Uloxo transition. We're going to come in for this one. Sorry, runway 12. 12, here we go. So we want the OPSUC focus is one of those. OPSUC, there we go. So we'll put that in, because that'll just help us, that'll adjust the calculations at the top of descent. So we can check that at this point, actually. Going into plan, going into legs, we go next page, next page. Okay, so here's the, so coming into GoPev, so is that on here? GoPev, here we go, GoPev. Then the next one along this path is, oh, here you can see my actual ring. So you've got that's the 5 nautical mile ring. That's what I put in before. We've got Kevra. The next one should be Davru, which it is. Then we go to OPSUC. Then
WestJet 418 Romeo, contact Toronto Center 135.4.
Over to Toronto 1354, WestJet 418 Romeo. For some reason Toronto, this is WestJet 418 Romeo, flight level 340.
WestJet 418 Romeo, Toronto Center, radar contact.
Okay, I see what's happening. My tablet's crashed, but that's fine. Then we have, next one was OPSUC. Then we've got previous page, next page, OPSUC, then Hogus. POGUS. Then after POGUS, we have vectors, which is what she's showing here. So this is little dots. It'll say for runway 12, come up here, and we'll then be vectored in by ATC, which will tell us how to get there.
Jazz 199, descend to 13,000 feet, altimeter 3058.
Now, OPSUC, we don't want
Descend to 13,000 feet, altimeter 3058, Jazz 199.
approach.
Jazz 199, contact Toronto Center 132.575.
Do not want to go to OPSUC again, so I'm going to...
Contact Toronto Center 132.575, Jazz 199.
It's a bit weird. So this is better. So instead of going POGUS all the way back to OPSUC, which makes no sense, we get vectored from POGUS around to my pot, and my pot onto Nebgu, and then that'll bring us in.
Air Canada 140, contact Toronto Center 132.575.
Fly us right into there.
Contact Toronto Center 132.575, Air Canada 140. Have a good day.
We can, for example, look at what the arrival weather's looking like at the moment at Edmonton. So at the moment we've got winds coming in at 110 at 6 knots. So 110 at 6 knots is pretty close to a headwind for our runway 120. Runway 12. So yeah, that stays on track. We will be direct as well. Okay, so we've got our minimums for the landing there. We've got our flight cruise level. The aircraft is doing what it needs to do. We might turn down some of the brightness of these. Yeah, just because it's going to start getting darker. Okay, great. So what we'll do now is we'll fly for a while, and then eventually we'll be landing in So I'll put it on auto respond. This will hand over to my flight first officer. We'll do all the radio comms from now on. Okay, come back when we're on approach to landing.
Toronto Center, Air Canada 266, descending via Boxham 7, flight level 334. Air Canada 266, Toronto Center, identified. 18 Romeo. Contact Toronto Center 132.65. Have a good day.
Center on 132.65, WestJet for 18 Romeo. Toronto Center, WestJet for 18 Romeo, flight level 340.
Minneapolis Center. Expect Boxum 7, runway 23.
Expect Boxum 7, runway 23, Air Canada 168.
WestJet 418 Romeo. Contact Minneapolis Center 134.6.
Center on 134.6 WestJet for 18 Romeo. Have a good day. Minneapolis Center, WestJet for 18 Romeo. Flight level 340.
WestJet 418 Romeo, Minneapolis Center.
Jet 418 Romeo, Toronto Center, identified.
WestJet 418 Romeo. Contact Winnipeg Center 132.125.
Contact Winnipeg Center 132.125, WestJet for 18 Romeo. Winnipeg Center, WestJet for 18 Romeo, flight level 340.
WestJet 418 Romeo, Winnipeg Center, radar contact.
100 nautical miles from our destination. The time has gone by a few hours. It's now 0043 Zulu, which is local time 4:07 in the evening. Sun has set. Given that, we'll dial down the brightness of some of these displays. Radio 281. Everything seems fine. So top of descent is going to be 0130 Zulu. So that's going to be in 45 minutes. So I may edit this video down a bit more because I am now just going to go through the various. Oh, I might go down. We'll see. First thing I'm going to do is just check to see what the current ATIS is for our destination airport, just to see what what's going on there. So going. Well, let's just have a look at the map, shall we? First of all, so we've flown, yeah, all the way from here. We've flown from Toronto, yep, there, we've gone all the way along here, across the Great Lakes, and on Quebec 831, then Quebec 845, the away, then we're going on to Quebec 908, Quebec 908, and then we're going to continue along here to Quebec 819, so here we are, right here. Oh, let's see if we can get Wynyard. That's Summary Canada. So we'll minimize you. Now let's have a look at the right. We can actually drop the brightness a bit more. Okay, so the wind. So the wind may have changed a bit since our original departure time. According to this, the current... Oh no, looking at the departure. Huh. Okay, the arrival is... the wind is 120 at 6 knots still. At 0000 Zulu. So that was 46 minutes ago was the last... was when this ATIS was produced. I'm running all of this real time, incidentally, so haven't done any. It's all real time, real weather. So we're at 120 at 6 knots. So that's like a perfect headwind for our arrival. So unless anything changes dramatically, we've got the wind coming from that direction. No, 120. It's coming from 120. Yeah, no, that's right. All good. So. What we'll do is we'll go on to we'll just start preparing the information, assuming that that's the case. If it's not, we'll change it, but if it is, then we'll have everything locked in. So the heading is 120. It's a perfect 120 approach. Sometimes the runway will be 12. The actual heading will be like 125, so that will be displayed here. So we're putting 120 into our course. This is the course, the approach course for landing on runway 12 at Edmonton. So put in 12, put in both sides. Because we'll switch on both autopilots on the approach. So we've got two here, A and B. We've only got A activated presently. Okay, so we've got the approach course in. Then the other thing that we want to do is we want to put in the frequency of the ILS. And here, the ILS frequency is 109. So switch that across 109. Alright, locked in. So we've got the ILS in the ILS. So the other things double check would be our minimums. We put that in right at the beginning of the flight. So 2544, 2544, that's good. Now we may as well, while we're doing this, also put in check the performance. So we're going to do landing en route. We are going to assume that runway 12 will continue to be our runway. I don't think there's no weather to speak of, so we're going to have it dry. We'll bring in the aircraft details, which compensates for the distance to go, weight and what have you. 3027 is apparently the, so we'll do that, calculate. So, flaps config 30, VREF 145, so that's the speed, I gather, at which we want to be. We sort of pretty much come right into touchdown. And here, this orange dotted line is, if we're landing in this direction, we should stop, right? So we've got linear runway label. So here we'll go over to aircraft, flaps 30, that in there. That's now added that in, and that shows up here on the thing. And I just realized I think I'm recording with the cursor, not shown recording software. The next thing is so that'll be flaps 30 config and auto brakes 3. So we'll set the auto brakes over here. We have 40 minutes from top of descent, heading 280, heading pretty much due west. Looks good. Looks good. Now, just some other things that I'm going to start looking at here before we begin our descent, just to get it in mind. We're going to be entering into the final approach phase at 5,000. Yeah, make a note of that. We'll be coming in from the north direction through Opsuck, and then hit my pot before we do a 90-degree turn. So it's going to be a series of 90-degree turns. Coming in at 5,000. Opsuck, we want to be at 6,000 at a maximum of 210 knots. So we can have a look at here. We can have a look at the
WestJet for 18 Romeo. Contact Winnipeg Center 133.9er. Have a good evening.
Contact Winnipeg Center 133.9er. WestJet for 18 Romeo. Winnipeg Center, WestJet for 18 Romeo. Good evening. Flight level 340.
WestJet 418 Romeo, Winnipeg Center, identified.
Okay, so what I just did there off screen, running beyond ATC, during the sort of the cruise portion of a flight, when I'm not, when I basically handed over to my first officer, I switched beyond ATC, traffic and ATC, voice to basic. Beyond ATC has a charge for the premium voices. So what's been playing during, basically, since I stepped away and came back, has been the basic voices. We switched back across to premium because back in the game really, and I want to get the premium voices, which do cost per character. So that's just what I did there. Now, oh yes, so I'm just checking a few of the things just to make sure that everything's in the flight computer properly. So over here we've got Opsuck, which is a maximum of 210 knots at 6,000. And if we have a look over here, it says...
WestJet 418, Romeo, contact Winnipeg Center 133.1.
Center on 133.1, WestJet 418 Romeo.
So that's the premium voices.
Winnipeg Center, WestJet 418 Romeo. Good evening, flight level 340.
WestJet 418,
Romeo, Winnipeg Center, radar contact.
Okay, cool. We got that done. So yeah, as you can see here on the computer, in magenta, ink is 210B. So that means we need to be at 210 knots or below. And the altitude here at OPSUC is calculated as 6.65. So yeah, it just needs to be around about 6,000 there. So that's fine. Because if we look at the star, we go to OPSUC, and that's 210 knots. It doesn't give a flight restriction there, only the speed, but the speed actually needs to hit 210 knots at the previous waypoint, Davru, which is why it's magenta here on Davru. There, we need to be exactly 7,600 feet. Little line above and below at Davru, 7,600 feet. So if we go to Davru, it's got 7,600 as the altitude next to the magenta 210B. So that's the altitude that's going to pitch for on the team. All going well, if we stay on profile. And if the ATC gives us descent altitudes in a timely fashion. So go back here, bring that back to our plane, we'll zoom out just so we get a bit of a better perspective. But as you can see, we are now very much close to the end of our flight. We've only got another, we got a program touchdown at CYEG, so Edmonton, or I should say what, Charlie Yankee Echo Golf is 0150 Zulu. We are currently at 0055 Zulu, so no, so that's what, 55 minutes to go. Just the range, so we've got, I'll put the range at 320. Now, what we can also start doing is at this point, have a look at the frequencies. So Edmonton Terminal 12800 is our destination ATIS. Just double check that frequency on the charts. ATIS 12800. So that's good. So what we'll do is get that ready. 12800. So we'll put that in the standby. So if I click that across into the active, we'll probably just get static. Oops, no, sorry. Put in 128. That one's 128.0. We've got that. So at the moment that's just static. But as we get closer, we should be able to pick up that frequency. One other thing that I'll just show whilst I'm here. Maybe close enough. So in the flight tablet of the 737 here, we've got the Simbury flight plan. Now this goes for pages and pages and pages and pages. This is basically all of the the information associated with flight departure, arrival, times of departure, times of arrival. I think even calculating, you know, time to leave the gate, time to take off, time to arrive, time to get to the gate. It tells you also planned fuel, how much fuel. So here, block fuel, the total fuel is 13822. So 13,822 tons. Reserve of 2,375. Your flight routing, various things, operational it's times, estimated time out, off, on, in, block time, how long the whole thing's going to take, 4.5 hours in this case, 4 hours and 38 minutes. Your weights, passengers, cargo, payload, zero fuel weight, fuel, takeoff weight, all of this is calculated here based on what, so we've got 119 passengers, 2.7 tons of cargo, payload 13 tons. So it's everything. Flight log, position, various, so you've got your waypoints. Flight paths, flight routes, flight, what's the word? Anyway, it's in there somewhere, but the, yeah, the paths that you take, back 908, so on. Arrivals, IXOX 3, we can see there's wind information, here's all the wind, flight plan, takeoff landing, runways, maximum takeoff weight, runways under different conditions, flaps, landing distances, what else have we got? Tropical cyclone signals, no, weather data available. So we've got all of that information in here as well. Airways, I think that's the word I was looking for, airways. So we have that. Where are we now? 30 minutes until top of descent. 191 nautical miles to top of descent, 293 nautical miles to our destination. Dark now, so we're not going to see a great deal except for, oh, we're flying over somewhere. There's a runway down there. You can see the flashing lights. Let's see if we can, see, where is that? Tagot. No, Saskatoon. Saskatoon. I'll put it on world. Yeah, Saskatoon, I'd say that is. Because there's a big city there. So you've got railway lines, roads, all of that's represented in here. Saskatoon. And there's the runway. Oh, the airport, I should say. Saskatoon, John D. Diefenbaker International. Charlie Yankee X-Ray Echo is the airport. You can zoom right in. I mean, this is fantastic. You can zoom right in. You can see actually, you can zoom in far enough. You can see all the actual taxiways. Taxiway Alpha, Bravo, stands, the different de-icing facility. So you can zoom right in on these maps and see what actually is going on with that airport. So we'll bring it back to close that out. Okay, so prefix. What's our heading? 276. So make a slide there. Now I've got TLSS 4 on, but the numbers are still a bit ghosty and a bit blurry when you rotate them, which is an issue that I like. Minimize that, it's a bit annoying. Some lights on here a bit, yeah, that's good. Okay, so that's pretty much it. We've now set ourselves up essentially as much as we can before we actually start getting instructions from ATC as we begin our approach to the descent phase of the flight. Fuel going to 4.4. Should have 3.8 by the time we get to Remax. Then we should have 3.1 left over by the time we get to Edmonton. We should have 4.4 when we're at the. No, that's our current cost. We should have 3.1 by the time. About 3 tons left when we reach you should have about 3 tons of fuel reserve, generally it seems. By the time we reach destination. Okay, 275. Much anymore. It's just very dark. Nice to have a fly where you take off in the daytime and land at night, or take off at night and land in the daytime. So sort of then yeah, you get to experience the sunset or the sunrise. Experience taking off and or landing in the daylight and or the nighttime, which makes it a bit more interesting. And it's just a good coincidence at the moment because my time here now is coming up to the middle of the day, but in Canada it is the evening, so real time in this instance works very well. we'll set the auto brake to 3 now. Get that done. One less thing to think about, and I will. What was the arrival? It's the RX Edmonton is within 160 nautical miles now. It's only been level 32, so we'll bring in the range to 160. See it there, percent TD, green. Now, the other thing we can do is we can have a look at this and go, alright, well, we're going to land on runway 12, all things considered. I don't see any reason why we won't based on the current ATIS, which should maybe have updated by now. 0100 Zulu. So that's actually, 2 minutes ago it updated. Current wind direction is 150 knots, so that's still not a perfect headwind, but close enough. Close enough to me. This is going to pretty much be our runway. It's going to be coming slowly from the south, right to left. So runway 12, so we're going to roll out. They'll probably tell us to roll out to Alpha 3, possibly, what's at the very end? It doesn't say. Is that Yankee? No. Whatever that is there. So Alpha 1, Alpha 3. What? Why are the numbers a bit weird? 1, 2, 3, 4. Probably roll out to Alpha 3 or the very end. The runway, then we'll have to taxi along Alpha, then we've got the terminal here, apron 1. So we've got the terminal here. Let's have a look at the airport. There's construction activities. That's interesting. I wonder if that's current. That's happening at Edmonton now. Parking positions and coordinates. It's also good to pin this one because then you can see where we want to bring our aircraft in. So we'll come back along Alpha here and then turn into one of these gates, 50, maybe somewhere between 50 and 70. We'll aim for one of those. That's a nice easy one. The even ones, the odd ones look like they're on the apron and away from the gate, so we'll go with an even numbered gate between 50 and 70 just for ease of access. But it's good to just look at the gates, look at the just do your sort of awareness of the airport as you're approaching. You know, based on the runway you're expecting to land, which taxiway you're expecting to get off at, which ones you're going to have to like go along to get to the gate. As much as you can do sort of foreshadowing the likely scenarios that are coming up ahead, the better. So speaking of foreshadowing, the other thing that is really important to do is to look at the missed approach information. So this is on here. So if you're approaching and then all of a sudden a plane pulls out in front of you or the weather's really bad, see the runway and you have to missed approach. You have to look over here on the missed approach instructions. So missed approach, climb to 5,000 feet. So that's good. So we're going to be coming in at 5,000 feet before we pick up the ILS. So keep that altitude at 5,000, heading 120, so we continue on the runway. Heading and expect vectors, so just wait for them to tell us what to do. Missed approach during comm failure, hopefully we won't have to worry about that. squawk 7600, climb 5000, heading 120. So if you can't hear anyone, then turn left, turn direct to OPSUC to execute the approach again, and attempt to contact the Edmonton Centre on here as a phone number. So if you lose comms, here's a number, this is what you do, but we shouldn't lose comms. So other information here, the localizer frequency 109.9, final approach course is 120 degrees, MEPGU 3650, so MEPGU is this point here, 3650 is here, so we'll be at that altitude on the way down, glide slope, etc. So frequencies there, that's parts of the runway. Sorry if this is not coming up on the screen, I've got my headset on and I'm not sure if it's like that, hopefully it is. Yeah, that's that. So basically the rinse approach is very simple. Climb to 5000, heading 120, and expect like this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to switch off the auto respond so that I will now be responding to ATC. Go with my first officer. What else is there to check? So we've checked the missed approach, we've checked, we've got all of our landing information in, we've got flaps 30, we've got VREF at about 145. Coming in, we've got the ILS frequency in, we've got the runway direction in, we've got the winds program, we've got the auto brake set to 3, we've got the course of 120 in both left and right for the autopilot on approach of the ILS. For the runway, really don't think there's a great deal more we need to do, but I'll just run through the checklist. Cruise descent. Just need to get the latest ATIS information. Yeah, that's fine. We're ready now to basically to receive our descent instructions. We're now 89 nautical miles from the top of the descent. We're going to switch that down. The range down to the next 180. I'm going to switch this one over here into plan mode and increase range, just so that we can see our aircraft coming in to reflex. Current heading 272. No weather, absolutely none, nothing to speak of at all. We could probably even switch the weather radar off. In fact, I probably will. I'll put the terrain radar on, let's have a look at that. There we go. So we do have that just shows us what we got on the right hand side there. Is that some kind of lake or something? Yeah, it looks like possibly picking up the that water there. Yeah, it looks like it. It's got sort of this islandy sort of mixed stuff going on. But I don't expect us to really need to worry about the terrain. I don't think we have too much in the way of mountains to navigate through on our approach. Once we hit reef base, looks like we then cross over into another flight. Which is Edmonton. Then we're in Edmonton airspace. So that's good. We'll then likely be contacted by ATC and requested to change frequencies. Very dark. once we get to about 40 nautical miles from top descent, I will check the radio again, see if we can pick up Edmonton ATIS to get the current weather information, which we're getting here anyway. It'll probably be relaying exactly the same information as on the tablet. Wind direction 9.50 at about 4 knots, but we'll see. Well, according to this, top descent is at 0130 Zulu. We are at 0119 Zulu, so 10-11 minutes from descent. Ooh. Finally. 4.5 hour block time. 3.5 hours or so flight time, I think it was, or is. It's a fair way. Fuel 3.9, everything's looking good there in terms of fuel expectations. By the time we get to prefix, we should have 3.9 tons left. Camera 3.4 and still 3.1. So that's all good. The wind being at 0.04 knots, so that's pretty light. I'm not expecting, it should be wind-wise, it's favourable for the landing on runway 12. Mostly a headwind, coming in slightly from the right to left.
WestJet 418 Romeo, contact Edmonton Center 133.45.
Contact Edmonton 13345, WestJet 418 Romeo. Edmonton, this is WestJet 418 Romeo, flight level 340.
WestJet 418 Romeo Edmonton Center, radar contact.
Okay, that's good. Top of descent, 56 miles. Alright, now it's just a good idea to continue going around, making sure everything's programmed in correctly. 109.9, 109.9, that is showing up here, 109.9 with heading 120. 109.9, let's just go back and check the charts. Approach, runway 12, which is the expected runway. 109.9 IFP. So that'll change to IFP. Come up on there as we get closer. That's good. That's the same maintenance information. I'm not expecting that to change. For the weather. 8 minutes. One thing about when you're flying at night is you do lose that. Well, you can't see anything. It's very dark out now. I presume that's just because clouds are obscuring any of the, or maybe it is just nothing out there. Towns or cities. Can't see any light whatsoever. Oh, there's some in the very far distance over there, which is almost certainly not going to.
WestJet 418 Romeo Edmonton Center, expect Ixox tree runway 12.
Expect Ixox 3, runway 12, WestJet 418 Romeo. Bingo, that's it. So it's confirmed, runway 12, Ixox 3. As planned. So that's great, we don't have to change anything. At this point we have all of our ILS in, we have the program in, we've got the transition programmed in to the flight plan. basically just keep flying. So if they had have changed it at that point now, we would redo all of our various calculations. We'd change our flight plan, get the new runway map up, change our minimums, recalculate our landing parameters, re-put in our new VREF if there was a new VREF, change the course up here, do all of that. But because we've done that while we're en route to the destination, we really have no need to worry about that. So let's just check the so we can pick up Edmonton.
12, departing runway 02, transition level 180. Temporary flight restrictions are in effect for Edmonton. Advise on initial contact, you have information pop up. Edmonton Airport information pop-up. 0122 Zulu. Wind in 135 at 4. Visibility 10. Light snow. Ceiling 7,800 overcast. Temperature -19er. Dew point -22. Altimeter tree 029er. VFR conditions. Landing runway 12. Departing runway 02. Transition level 180.
Okay, great. So we've got all the information we need there. Information Papa, so that's the current information at us that was distributed at 0122. So that was only distributed 3 minutes ago, so that's current. The altitude is 3029, so if we pop that in, 3029, we can get that prepared. That's the pressure, so we've got that 3029 inches. So that's in. The wind is actually much more favourable. It's more of a headwind, 135. Oh, there's a bit of light snow, which is fun. -19 degrees. Transition level is 180.
WestJet 418, Romeo Ike Sox Tree, runway 12. Report ready for descent.
IGSOX 3, runway 12. Will report when ready. WestJet 418 Romeo. So they're expecting us to dial in a request to descend pretty sharp.
WestJet 418, Romeo Ike Sox Tree, runway 12. Verify ready for descent.
IGSOX tree, runway 12, call when ready, WestJet 418 Romeo.
That may not have picked me up. Beyond ATC are developing a large language model, which will mean that we can sort of be a little bit more flexible in how we respond to ATC and pick it up better. I mean, it's excellent now, but sometimes it doesn't pick up what we say, so things will only get better. So we've got 20 nautical miles from top of descent, which is still at 0130 Zulu. We've got 4 minutes to go. I'm going to wait until that really comes in a bit closer before we make it descend. Shortly, they may actually give us an altitude soon, without me even asking for it. Let's see.
WestJet 418 Romeo, descend to flight level 190.
Yeah, they couldn't wait. Descend to flight level 190, WestJet 418 Romeo. So what we'll do is, they couldn't wait, so 190, telling us to do that now. 190, so put that in. We may as well commence our descent. We can force it. It'll automatically start at the top of the descent, but we can go descend now, and execute that. Our aircraft will now commence the descent. It'll stay on the path as much as possible, so it'll just do a very gentle descent now until it hits its calculated flight path down, and then it will nose itself down, so that's fine. Descent commenced. Once we pass through 180 on the altimeter, we will switch across from standard to local atmospheric conditions, which is 3029. So we put that in the background and stand by, so that's good. Nothing really much for us to do now, other than allow the descent to take place. that's our city up there. I think it's Edmonton up there, I would say. We've got a big bright patch on the ground over there, which is almost certainly going to be our destination. Yeah, nothing much more to do. So we've got camera, camera, which is a flight limit of 190. So we can actually bring up our, now it's maybe not a bad time to bring up our star. So here, let's see that, I don't know, the camera is, we've got to be at or below flight level 190. So we're going to come in, and the objective, based on our plane's flight computer, is it is pitching us to be at camera at flight level 190. We're currently below our profile by about 2,300, 2,400 feet. So we're actually lower than we should be according to the profile. That's fine. We should hit the... Okay, now that's coming back down again, 2,400, 2,300. So that should... once that hits 0, and that little magenta diamond reaches the midpoint on that scale, we will nose down to follow that profile. Currently descending at 1,000 feet per minute. So that's fine. May as well pop the tail light on. Why not? So we've got that set. We have got ATIS information, which I'm pretty sure is going to stay pretty much the same, given I don't know if it's changed over. I've got the ILS programmed in. Everything's there. That's good.
WestJet 418 Romeo, contact Edmonton Center 125.05. Have a good evening.
Contact Edmonton 125.05. WestJet 418 Romeo. Thank you, bye. Edmonton, this is WestJet 418 Romeo, descending on the XOX 3, passing flight level 285.
WestJet 418 Romeo, Edmonton Center identified.
Okay, so now, if you can see here...
WestJet 418 Romeo, contact Edmonton Center 134.7.
Contacts Edmonton 1347, WestJet 418 Romeo. Edmonton, this is WestJet 418 Romeo, descending on the XOX 3, passing flight level 260. Oh, alright.
WestJet 418 Romeo, Edmonton Center identified.
Great. So now we are bang on profile. The little diamond has reached the midpoint of that scale on the lower right-hand side of the screen. The so-called green bendy banana is going through the camera waypoint, which shows that we will reach flight level 190 by the time we reach the waypoint, which is exactly what we want. We need to be at or below flight level 190. We'll bring this down a little bit. You can see the range circles now. You can see 25 is the range circle, 25 nautical miles from Edmonton. We should be coming up. Yep. So we can see now we're descending quite nicely, 268. The transition level is 180, so coming up to that. Not too far away actually. We're really close to our next. So once we hit camera at 190, the next restriction we have is we need to get a above 8,000 by Kevra, and at exactly 7,600 by Dab. See how that goes. We should get a new altitude direction. If we do not get a new altitude direction by the time at least we get to Ixox, then I have to start see what happens. Hopefully we get that direction from air control. We'll see. Alright. Okay, we're reaching within 1,000 feet of our target altitude of 190, so here we go. We may start to drift off our profile, but we can correct that. Next heading from 268 is 271, so we'll make a slight adjustment here. Here we go, go for it.
WestJet 418 Romeo, descend to 9,000 feet, altimeter 3029er.
Descend to 9,000 feet, altimeter 3029er, WestJet 418 Romeo. Okay, so that's excellent. They've given us a new altitude of 9,000. Level change. And that will now bring us back down. So we're slightly above profile now. The little diamond has gone global. We're going to dive back down, and that number 600, 500, 400. So that will bring us back onto profile, onto VNAV speed. Oh, there's a yeah. We go back into VNAV path. So VNAV speed has tried to get us back onto the path. We're back on the path now, so it's VNAV path. And it should. Oh, here we go. We're past the transition level, so it's telling us we need to change over 3029.
WestJet 418 Romeo, contact Edmonton Terminal 120.5.
Contact Edmonton 1205, WestJet 418 Romeo. Edmonton, this is WestJet 418 Romeo, descending on the Ixox 3, passing 16,500.
WestJet 418 Romeo Edmonton Terminal, altimeter 3029er, expect radar vectors for ILS, runway 12.
Altitude 3029er, expect radar vectors, ILS runway 12, WestJet 418 Romeo. So that's just them confirming that that's the runway that we're going to be landing at. Confirming the altitude setting for our instruments is 30.29 is the pressure, so that's consistently confirming that. Now we're actually getting into the interesting part now. As you can see, we're going to turn right at Ixox on a new heading for G300. Let's pull it to the next waypoint. We are on profile, so we should be hitting our respective flight restrictions on target. We're coming up to 14,400 feet. As you can see here, we've now also started to show up on the charts coming up to Ixox. New heading will be 300, so we'll fix that. 300. Yeah, that's that. Passing 13,100. We hand it over to approach soon, I expect. sorry, my in-game virtual keyboard keeps crashing out, which is somewhat frustrating. Why does it? Install it. Anyway, here we are. Focusing again. Right. So, what do we need to do now? Might get everyone to put their seatbelts on. Check our heading. We're about to pass 11,000 feet, so I'm going to put on our landing lights. They're on. The landing lights are on. Yeah, that's good. We are on track for GoPev, and then I think it looks like we continue on. We're getting a message. Yeah, drag required. Okay, yep, now we need to slow down. Pop out the speed brakes. It's dark, so you can't see them. That's fine. So yeah, we need to bring it down to 210 knots. So it is trying to bring us down from 270 knots. It's having a bit of difficulty doing it. So we've got speed brakes on as much as we possibly can. As long as we get to 210 by Davro, we'll be okay. So we need to be at 8,000 or above by Kevra, then we need to be at exactly 7,600 by Davro. So we've got some restrictions going on here that we're going to have to pay a bit of attention to. Oh, we're now at we're coming up to 9,000, so that's good. We're no longer descending. We can bring up the speed brake. But we are going to have to slow down shortly, even more, as we come to there. Now we should be Kevra. We are about to be Kevra. I'm going to bring the range in a bit. Decel just before Kevra, so that will slam on the brakes a bit slow as right now. I'm going to need to adjust our altitude to, what is it, to 7,600. I'm going to set that now in anticipation. Davro is only 4 nautical miles away, so we are really very close to. We should see. Oh my God, this is going to be an interesting landing. If we can go a full auto land, we will, because I can see there's a lot of
WestJet 418 Romeo, descend to 7,600 feet.
Descend to 7,600 feet, WestJet 418 Romeo. I'm now going to switch this over to auto respond, so that my first officer can do the comms and response. Drag required. Yeah, we need to bring this down to 210 knots, and we need to do it quickly. We are on profile. We should hit 7,600 by the time we hit Davro. Speed is going to be maybe slightly over. We are only 1.5 nautical miles. We're down to 230 knots, so we are a little fast. But as we level off, we should slow down quite nicely. Reset MCP altitude, yes. We are going to have to wait for vectors, so I am going to go on hitting select as soon as we pass Davro. If we pass Davro, no, there's also. Okay, we are on speed, we are on profile, we are on speed, we are now a little bit high, but we need vectors. Vectors from focus. We're a bit high, but that's fine. So it slowed us right down because it's sensing we are too high. So it's like, I'm going to slow you down now. It's fine. Okay. Oh, it's not too bad visibility. We should see the runway. It's back there somewhere. There's some lights. Alright, so we've got lights there, we've got that, we've got our landing lights on, we have dinged the passengers, I know we haven't dinged, told them to put their seatbelts on, that's good. Focus, we are going to need some instructions shortly. We are only 2 nautical miles from focus. From there, presumably we'll be turning left. 90-degree turn or something. We've slowed right now. We should be picking up the DMEV. How far away are we? What's our range circle? We're about 10, 12 nautical miles from the... It is IFP, isn't it? IFP, yep, that's fine. That's good. Saying what it should say. We are now approaching, okay, so we're just going to go on heading select, vector, wait for vectors. Hello?
WestJet 418 Romeo, request direct to fix.
WestJet 418 Romeo, roger, say fix name.
Oh, I should have... Oh, no. No, I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have done that. Can I cancel this?
WestJet 418 Romeo, roger, say fix name.
I just say Pogus.
Request direct to Pogus, WestJet 418 Romeo.
Well, that's interesting. Now
WestJet 418 Romeo, Pogus is behind you.
Okay.
Unable
hopefully
direct
this,
Pogus.
hopefully this cancels that out.
WestJet 418 Romeo, turn left heading 285. Vectors for the approach.
There we go, 285. Lovely.
Turn left, heading 285, WestJet 418 Romeo.
Yeah, that was my error. I thought that would give me the information as to where I should go to next, but that's actually to request direction to a fix, a specific fix. I haven't done that before. Okay, we'll just turn left as instructed. It's too high still. But that's okay. We're puttering along at only 200 knots. Yep. So that's fine. 285.
WestJet 418 Romeo, turn left heading 220.
Turn left, heading 220, WestJet 418 Romeo.
See, everything's on instruments at this point. We can see nothing. So, yep, okay, that's good. Now we're on a 90-degree approach. 90 degrees to the approach. So that's good. Presumably we're going to have to come down to 5,000 feet or something. So I'm going to switch this across to the approach map for IMS runway 12. We are getting our vectors, that's good. Should get another one.
WestJet 418 Romeo, 12 miles from Mipo, turn left, heading 165. Maintain 5,000 feet until established on the final approach course. Cleared ILS runway 12.
Turn left, heading 165, 5,000 feet until established, cleared ILS runway 12, WestJet 418 Romeo.
Okay, this should bring us back down to the correct altitude. So what we'll do now as well is we're coming into the approach course. We'll switch on the localizer. Oh, we're not picking up the localizer yet. We're still too far away by the looks of it. So, okay. actually bring us around a little bit further towards 120, about maybe 145. Now 120. There we go. We've picked up the signal, so we've opened to select VOR lock. And hopefully this will pick up the localizer as we get close enough. And that's so we've sort of armed it here underneath heading select VOR lock in white. What we want is to see that to go green. Coming into 5,000. Here we are on the map. Coming up to my pot. We can actually select my pot there, put that there, execute that there. We can go LNAV there, and that will bring it across to there. Okay, switch it back across. That just aligned us up a bit more nicely. Oh, there's another airport there. What's that? Edmonton Parkland. Okay, so we're approaching 5,000. We've got coming up to 10 nautical miles. Wait until we get the VOR lock in, and then we'll switch across to approach mode. We need to be at 5,000 by the time we get to my pot. Is the ideal. 5,400. My pot is 3.2. Okay, we're seeing some lights up ahead, which is encouraging. Just gonna get the feet on the pedals here. Come on, VOR lock. We need you to
2,500.
2,500. Okay. So we are not yet locking onto the ILS, which is interesting. We're at 5,000, so that's good. Yep, here we go. We've just picked up the VOR. As you can see, that's gone green. Now we're switched across to approach mode. This should then hopefully pick up a glide slope. Bring in flaps 1. This will line us up with the runway. Okay, now we've got
WestJet 418. Romeo, contact Edmonton Tower 118. Decimal 3, have a good evening.
Contact Tower 118.3, WestJet 418, Romeo. Edmonton Tower, WestJet 418, Romeo, ILS runway 12.
WestJet 418, Romeo Edmonton Tower, wind 135 at 4, runway 12 cleared to land.
Runway 12 cleared to land, WestJet 418, Romeo.
Picking up the glide slope shortly. Let's switch on both autopilots, switch across to continuous for each of the engines. In the cabin, letting them know we are not far away. Flaps 5. Okay, glide slope captured. As you can see here, GS has come up with green and single CH there has come up. Okay, manually slowing it down now. Everything's set for this approach, 5,000 at 120. If we need to, then we hit the toga if we have to go around. Okay, gear down. Can't see anything. Just down. Just down. Okay. Flaps 10. Flaps 15. Cannot see height, but we can see on the instruments that we are on course, we are on the glide slope, we are descending. Flaps 25, flaps 30, bring it down to VREF at 145. Let's go to slightly up, 6. Okay, we've got snow. See absolutely nothing except snow flying past the window here. Okay.
1,000.
All right, there's the runway. So I'm going to disengage autopilot, disengage auto thrust, try and maintain, try and land this puppy. Okay, a bit low, a bit to there, we need to go there, thrust up a little, a bit to the right, left, a little bit up, there we go. Steady on everyone, we've got good speed, we're at the VREF. We are a little low perhaps, I can't see the puppies.
Approaching minimums.
Approaching minimums. Okay, we're pretty much dead on.
Minimums.
Okay, we are good. Minimums, yep, we're continuing. Okay, we're coming down pretty much
100.
Center line. Easing off on the thrusters.
50. 30. 20.
Okay, can we touch down? Can we just touch down? We're floating a bit here. 4 reverses.
WestJet 418 Romeo, exit left at Alpha Tree.
Exit left at Alpha 3, WestJet 418 Romeo.
Let's just see where Alpha 3 is actually. Okay, Alpha 3 is actually the next one. Okay, we can switch off the auto respond now. Okay, the first thing we do, we don't worry about flaps, we don't worry about speed brakes, we don't worry about any of that. What we worry about is getting off the runway as soon as possible. Exit, go past the line. Now
WestJet 418, Romeo, contact ground 121.7, bye-bye.
Contact ground 1217. WestJet 418 Romeo, thank you, bye-bye. Okay, so we are down. Let's pop the old park brake on.
Negative, ground on 121.7.
That's what I said.
Ground 121.7, WestJet 418 Romeo. Have a good evening.
Okay. Now we switch off the landing lights, switch on the taxi lights, put all of them on. We'll get the APU running. Yeah, what else do we need? Yeah, that'll do. So, let's have a look. Let's see, where can we actually request a parking? Let's see, what have we got here? Available parking spots do we have? 22 suitable parkings. Now, if you remember, we had between 50 and 60, so we'll go 50. Good evening, Edmonton Brown. This is WestJet 418 Romeo, requesting taxi to gate 50.
WestJet 418 Romeo, welcome to Edmonton. Gate 50 taxi via Alpha Tree, Alpha Oscar.
Gate 50, taxi via Alpha 3, Alpha Oscar, WestJet 418 Romeo. The other thing we need to So, Alpha 3, that's what we're on. Alpha, Oscar, there it is. Alright, let's go. Speed brake, stowed. Flight director's off. TCAS is off. Switch on the APU. Well, the APU's on. Switch on the so we're now on Alpha. Alpha. We go Oscar. Don't want to go too fast. Okay, just make sure I've got everything going. Yeah, that's off. So we've got 2.8 fuel left, that's right. A bit less than I thought we calculated. Switch those back to from continuous. We might actually put the anti-icing on because it's cold as hell. Minus 15 or minus 20 or something, and snow. Okay. So have a look at our parking positions. He was there, like right on the corner. We can switch off the position light to steady, or off the run. Okay. Passing Alpha Delta. Yeah, it's dark here. Can they believe in lights? Edmonton? Well, this is the base airport, it's not a third party, so again, it's base MSFS airport, so we can't expect too much. Okay, so it'll be the next right-hand turn. Hey! Lights. Okay, right, so somewhere around here we should be turning. Here we go, here's a little line. Let's brake a bit. Here we go. Oof. Okay. Okay, so let me just have a look and see. What was 50? Coordinates and positions. So it does this sometimes. What I might do, GSX. Gate 50. Show me this spot. There it is. Fantastic. Thank you, GSX. So what I'll do is I will switch on. Sorry, I have to have the light on. Is there a plane there? GSX? There appears to be a plane there, so that's irritating. GSX? Sometimes... Ah, good. That's knocked out. Okay, so we'll switch off the taxiing lights now. I think. Ah, that's interesting. That's a new thing for GSX. Oh, which is the I would very much like to be able to see where. Oh, hang on. I see the spot. I see the spot. I see the spot. I see the spot. Sorry, everyone. I know this is not the best taxiing, but it's dark. Continue on a bit more. Oh, 1, 9, 6, 4. Oof, that'll do. That'll do. That'll do that. Oh, there's the guy with the wavy ones. Okay. He's doing a bit of a dance for us, that's nice. Okay, so we have the APU on, now we switch off the engines. There we go. And we deactivate the aircraft. So, go here, then we go over to ground operations, put the chocks in. That's good. There's the guy wandering over through the thing. Then we request ground power. We'll request the jetway, please. Now, because we've switched that off, we can switch off the seatbelts. Disarm doors. Activate ground power. Which means we can switch off the APU. Switch off the hydraulics. We'll switch off the anti-ice. Switch off the window. Heating and switch off the probe heating. Now, then we can switch off the collision light. Bring up GSX. GSX. And we request deboarding.
The boarding requested.
External view. Now all the carts and everything start coming in. Stairs come in. That's good, that's that. Yeah, alright, door management, that should be opening the doors. Open up the front door. Cool. Cabin 2.
Good evening. Passengers deboarding starting.
Okay, well they're not animating the passengers at the moment, but that's fine. Okay, there we are. That's so now we basically deboard. We prepare the plane, we'll shut it down. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the end of the flight from Toronto to Edmonton. If you stuck with it and watched the video, I hope you enjoyed it, and